So I haven't talked too much about the enemy. And I thought that this was a really good little excerpt of the enemy and give you a good insight on him. So one of the guys comes back from an operation and tells him, Jim, we killed one guy on patrol the other night. Brought in the body because we wanted proof. You know, they carry this little kind of service book in their pockets. This chink, he enlisted or got drafted or something back in 1936. He fought the Japs for 9 years. Then in 47, he fought the Reds for Chiang. Then, when Chiang bugged out to Taiwan, they just turned him around, put a red star on his cap, and in 1950, he's in Korea fighting us. Now he's dead. 16 years of professional soldiering and all that combat, and that son of a bitch is still just a private soldier. I got kids in my platoon, got out of high school last June. So you get these guys, again, that's just crazy life, right? You fight the Japanese for 9 years. Then you fight when the communists were fighting against Chiang Kai-shek. You're fighting with him against the communists. And then once that doesn't work out, you just turn around and you start fighting with the communists against the Americans. Hard enemy. And the Korean soldiers were hard as well. The Korean soldiers that were fighting alongside the Americans, and they still have a reputation of being very hard. I never actually worked with Korean Marines, but they have a reputation of being very, very hard and tough soldiers. Here's an example of that in the book. Maybe a little too hard. Some Korean Marines were on 749 too. That's the hill I talked about earlier. Pierce said, when we made the top and there were no more gooks to flush out, we dug in hoping they wouldn't come back. We were thin. We didn't have much left. Across the saddle, the Korean Marines were on top too. The hill was secured, but there was a bunch of Korean Marines over there shouting and arguing about something. Then they kind of stood back and one of them knelt down. And this guy came up very close behind him and took out a handgun and shot him through the head. 1 minute, he was kneeling there, and then he was dead. I was tired as hell, but I stood up and started yelling across the saddle at them. I'm yelling at them to stop and waving my arms, and one of them waves back, being friendly. Later, I found out they executed the guy because he was slow getting up the hill. But when I saw him, he was on top, and none of them had been there very long, so how slow could he have been? But they shot him anyways. Hard.